Math 24 students. In the previous video, we walked through the Canvas navigation buttons. So now I want to walk you through our course so you can see how it's set up. Every instructor sets their course up a little differently, so please take a few minutes to follow along and see how this course is laid out. So you always end up at the home page when you first click on the class. This is a lot of stuff on the home page, so let's go through it. The first thing is a link to my YouTube channel. And all of the Math 24 videos are in a playlist on my YouTube channel. This is to use if you've already done the video with the quiz in it and successfully completed the quiz, but maybe you want to watch the video again without a quiz in it. You can go here to the YouTube channel and the same video is there without any interruptions. And one of my students last semester said they found it nice to be able to watch it big on their television with YouTube and not having to be inside of Canvas to do the quiz. So Zoom videos, every Tuesday and Thursday evening at 6:30 p.m. I will be having a Zoom hour that you're welcome to attend. But I also record the solution to the quick quiz that I work through in that hour and post it on this sheet, and you'll be able to access it. So I keep that up to date, and you'll see I tell you when I update it. So if you've looked on February 1st already and it doesn't say it's been updated February 2nd, you'll know you don't need to go look again. There isn't a new one yet. Then the first discussion board we will be creating this class norms document. It's in great detail in the discussion board instructions. I want to know from you what you need people to do or not do for you to be able to feel safe and comfortable in the class. It's instead of having you read somebody else's netiquette document that you've probably seen 47 times by now. I'd rather hear from you. What's important to you for feeling safe and comfortable? So I want to welcome you to Math 24. The official name of the class is Modern Business Mathematics. I call it Business Calculus because it's a lot of calculus. And it transfers only to Sac State. So I'm going to make that point in a lot of places just because I want to make sure that that is your plan. If you are going to go anywhere else but Sac State, I haven't found any other school in California that accepts this course as meeting their business math requirement. So then if your goal is to get started on a weekly module, you can scroll down to the weekly modules and click on the button. So here's my contact information. I have a Google Voice number. The downside to this is I see your phone number. If you call or text me on the Google Voice number, then I see your information. If you're fine with that, I'm fine with that. And please do add me to your contacts so then you'll know it's me if I send you a message. So if you prefer not to share your phone number, I have this Remind Text app. And it's a very secure app that lots and lots of elementary and high schools are using so that teachers can contact parents in that case. So you go to the app, you put your phone number in. I don't see your phone number, but I can send texts to the whole class that way. In the Google Voice number, I can only send a text one person at a time, and it doesn't allow for me to do batch texting. So if you wouldn't mind, I would really appreciate it if you would sign up for the Remind Text app. And then I use that to do things like before every Zoom meeting, I send out a little reminder with the link in it to make it really easy for you to sign in. Then here's a link to the syllabus. I'm going to make a separate video where I go through the syllabus point by point, and I'll post that here when I have it completed. So please come to the Zoom meetings. I really try hard to help students get to know each other and get to know me. And I think you'll find that it's worth the time to cultivate a relationship with your instructor. I had somebody last semester who asked me to write a letter of recommendation, and I had to say, I'm really sorry, I don't really know you, so I can't even answer these questions on this form. So I want to get to know you. And I would love it if you would come to the Zoom meetings and participate. So I go through a quick quiz at each of the Zoom meetings, but that only takes about 15 or 20 minutes. So the rest of the time I answer any questions anybody might have. And then I also often do a little lesson on the upcoming material. So come to the Zoom meetings if you possibly can. If you can't, I do record the quick quiz solution part and post it at the link at the top of the page. So you can subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want. As I make new videos, when people ask me questions, I make them available to everybody. So if you would like to get notifications, you can figure out how to do that in YouTube. Then every Wednesday night, I'm available to all of my students from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. You don't have to make an appointment. You can just drop by anytime during that 2-hour window. I do have a waiting room set up, so you might have to wait a minute or two while I'm helping another student until I can get to you, but I like to give each student individual attention. So if you would like to come work in a Zoom room together with some classmates, I'm happy to set that up. I can make a breakout room in Zoom and put you and your classmates in it, and then I'm still available in the main Zoom room and you can pop out and ask questions. But it's just a place and a space for you to be able to work with classmates on things. So then we have the buttons to the modules, or you can use the modules button here on the navigation links to get to the modules area. So in the modules area, so far I have module 0, which is getting started. And as you go through the modules, there's several things I want you to notice. The first one is this little triangle that's pointing downward. This is called an accordion, where you can collapse that menu or expand that menu. So if you're done with module 0, you might want to collapse it, so it makes it quicker to scroll down to what you do need to see. So there are text headers in here that this start here is just a text header. There's nothing for you to do. It's not a link. See how there's no underline. But the next item, see how when I hover over it, there's a line, an underline. That means that's something for you to do. And then also below each thing for you to do, there's a verb that says what for you to do. So in this case, this just says view. And at first, I'm going to be a little bit prescriptive and kind of require you to do things. So I'm going to require you to mark that you read the syllabus. You'll see after you do it, there's a button that says click here when you're done. I want you to get at least 10 out of 10 on the syllabus treasure hunt because I want to make sure you know all the important things about the syllabus. I want you to submit this survey. But you can see as we go on that then I'm just going to ask you to view things. I'm not going to require you to submit them. And week 2 is the first week of math work. After week 2 and week 3, I won't be requiring you to click on everything. But week 2 and week 3, I will be requiring you to click on everything just so I know you're seeing all of the resources that are available for you to help you learn. So welcome, getting started. Here we go. Check your Sierra College student email. Some students aren't even aware they have a Sierra College student email, so I want to make sure you do. What happens is I send out a lot of emails when we're getting started, and I can see that only about half of the students even open them. So clearly not a very good way to communicate, but the college still requires that we send official communications to your student email. So I'm going to encourage you to do a bunch of things that you should do anyway by giving you points in the getting started area. So then I'm going to ask you to read the syllabus and do a little quiz on it that I call a treasure hunt. You can have the syllabus out while you're doing that. And then a getting to know you survey, just collect some information, whatever you're willing to share. You don't have to share anything if you don't want to. And then getting started in Canvas, this is where I'll post the videos that I've been making. And getting started in Newton, I have also made the video that will go there. Then download the Newton tracker. This is a form that if you download it onto your device, it's a fillable form. So it's just a place where you can keep track of how you're doing in Newton. The first time I used Newton to teach from, students complained that they would forget what they'd already done and where they were. So they asked me for something like this. So now I always create one that shows the due date, the section number that's due on that date, and then a place for you to check off and say that you have completed that. So that's the Newton tracker, and I'm going to ask you to download it, and then what the assignment says is to type in a text box and say, yes, I've got the Newton tracker downloaded. Then I have some recommended workflow documents for you. I have one for week 1 because week 1 is different than all the rest of the weeks. But then I try to make every other week the same so that there's a pattern, a routine. You could get into a routine. So the first couple weeks almost always feel a little chaotic, a little crazy as you're trying to figure out your routine and your flow. So it's always up to you when you do what, but I just wanted to give you some guidance if that would be helpful. So this is the recommended workflow for week 1. And what I've done this semester is you will only have things due on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. So the other days it says work on your homework, work on your quizzes. You can put your journal entry in. You can do your discussion board early. And then in boldface it says when the things are due. So there's no math homework, Newton homework. I want you to access the homework and get started on it, but there isn't any homework due. And then here are all the getting started activities that you need to complete in week 1. So you're welcome to download that, print it out, use it however it works for you. Then after week 1, weeks 2 through 16 will all look pretty much the same. There is a holiday and spring break in there, but otherwise pretty much the same. So you'll see Tuesdays, your homework is due, your quick quiz is due. Fridays, your homework is due, your quick quiz is due, and your discussion board post is due. Then Sundays, your shine quiz, which is a big quiz, and your discussion board replies, and your journal entry are due. So last semester they told me it was a little too complicated how I had things set up. I thought I was trying to spread it out, but they said there was too many different days things were due. So let's try this and you can let me know how it's going. And then if you want a separate task checklist for week 1, you're welcome to download that. I'm a big checklist person. I love checklists, and if somebody else makes me the checklist, I love that even better. So I'm going to go back to the modules, and we've done check your email, read the syllabus, syllabus treasure hunt, getting to know you, get started in Canvas and Newton, download the Newton tracker and the recommended workflow documents, and then update your Canvas profile. In the Intro to Canvas video, I showed you how to do this, and there's instructions in this assignment. Now I want to talk a minute about set up a math notebook or binder. I really prefer a 3-ring binder, but I understand that what some people have are spiral bound notebooks, so I'm not going to not accept spiral notebooks, but I really prefer a binder, and I'll explain why. In the front of the binder, I would print out the syllabus, the class schedule, the workflow, the homework assignment sheet. I would have dividers for at least the guided notes, the homework, the quick quizzes, and the shine quizzes. Even though the homework is going to be submitted online, you need to practice showing all your work and doing all the steps. So you need paper and a place to store that so you can use it as a reference for your quick quizzes. And you want your homework and quick quizzes easily available so you can use them to help you on your shine quizzes. So I would get the guided notes from the bookstore. You can print them yourself, but I think it's actually cheaper to buy them from the bookstore already printed. And then they're printed on both sides. So I would put a sheet of blank notebook paper between each 2 pages of the course pack. So then when the course pack printing is on the left, I can use the paper on the right to take extra notes or have more space. And then I turn the page, and when the course pack notes are on the right, I can use the blank back side of the paper on the left for extra space. So label everything, keep it organized. When you're doing homework, put the section number and the name and the title of the section. And even though it's online homework, do it as if you were going to turn it in. And about 4 weeks into the semester, I am going to do a binder check. So here at the beginning, I want to see your organization. And when you have it all set up, I want you to label it on the front and then take enough pictures to show me your organization and submit. You can also make a brief video. A lot of students found that easier. If you have a webcam, you can just sit and hold the notebook and you don't have to talk even, and just show me your organizational system. So again, that's something that is just good to do to get all organized before you start. And I'm giving you points for that. So that's really kind of what this Getting Started module is all about. It's trying to help you get started off in a really strong way and give you points for doing that. So then there's some useful apps here. There's a Sierra College app. There's a Canvas Student app. And there's the Remind Text app. You're always welcome to opt out of those. You'll see that the way you get the 10 points is you either say okay or opt out, and either one is totally fine. So then how you're going to find your Newton homework is by scrolling down, because all of the Newton homework is together at the bottom of the modules area. So that is so that you can find the one you're working on. Maybe you're working on one in week 5, even though we're in week 4. And I just want it to all be here together to make it easier for you to find the one you need to work on. Okay, so that's the Getting Started module. And then in week 1, I didn't want you to try and get a bunch of math done. So in fact, in week 1, you have Quick Quiz 1, a discussion, and a journal. So this is no math work. The Quick Quiz 1 is really just practice submitting an assignment into Canvas, because you're going to do a lot of handwritten assignments that you're going to scan and submit to me for me to grade. So the purpose of Quick Quiz 1 is really just to practice doing this process where you create a multi-page document, you scan it and submit it, and then I will write feedback on it, and you need to go find the feedback and respond to it, and then revise and resubmit. So that's going to be your process for the rest of the semester. You turn something in, I give you feedback on it, you look at the feedback, incorporate it, revise, and resubmit, and you can do that as many times as you need to. I would love it if you decide to get 100% on every assignment. I'll keep grading it until it's 100%. So let's talk about some of these other buttons here. So that was the modules button, the algebra support and math centers button. I tried to make it easy for you to access. You do have to open it in a new tab. This is the Sierra College Math Department website, where they have links to our tutoring services. So there's an algebra support center. If your questions are on the first 4 chapters of the textbook, so you'll be able to see the section numbers as you're going through the course pack notes and the videos. If it's on algebra, you're welcome to come to this algebra support center and get help. They will be open starting on Monday, and they'll post their hours here. Here's their schedule, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. So they can help you with your algebra, even if you say you're in Math 24, just explain that you need algebra help. So then the Math Center is the official place where you're supposed to go for help with Math 24, but their hours are a little different. They're open Monday afternoon Tuesday all day, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday all day, Friday afternoon, closed Saturday, Sunday. So I think part of the problem is they have a hard time finding enough tutors to staff that math center. So that's the Algebra Support Center. Then we also have a tutoring center, and it's a little confusing because the Algebra Support and Math Centers are part of the math department. The tutoring center is part of the college, not the math department. It has tutoring for every subject, including math. So you can find a tutor you like there and visit with them 1 hour a week, every week for free. It's going to be on Zoom the first 2 weeks of the semester, and then they'll reevaluate and see how things are going and decide whether it's safe to resume in-person tutoring. But you can have a one-on-one session, 1 hour a week for any class you're taking that they have a tutor for, and that can be really helpful for students. So then we have tutor.com, and tutor.com is a company. Sierra College has paid them money for you to have access. Let me just warn you, this is for homework and quick quiz help only. I can see the transcripts of the sessions, so please don't use it for Shine quizzes. It's really easy to tell. And I don't want to spend my time trying to figure out if somebody's trying to not do the work. I just want everybody to do the work, do the learning. Let's just get it done. So then the people button, this is how you can contact your classmates without having a phone number or an email address. You can contact them through Canvas. So if you click on the name of a classmate, there's a little envelope here, and you can send them a message. So this is a great way to get together in a study group. If you meet somebody in the Zoom and you want to work with them some other way or get together over coffee, this is just a great way to be able to contact each other. So then your grades, when I go to the gradebook, I see everybody, so it takes a long time to load. And then you might have noticed on the modules page that Canvas is a little jumpy sometimes, that you think it's loaded and then it jumps. So wait for the jump before you click, because I can't tell you how many times I've clicked on the wrong place. So I am test student, so I'm going to show you for test student my grades. And here you'll see all the detail you need about your grade. So you'll see all the assignments here. You'll see this is last semester's information. Still, I haven't updated all the due dates yet. So you'll see, though, that this is missing. It has no score, and it's out of 3 points. So you can see this 40.1. That's a really bad one that I haven't done yet. But let me suggest that you don't just jump right to the Shine quiz. It will seem really hard. If you do things in the order I suggest, I think you'll find it goes a lot more smoothly and actually takes less time overall. So you can look through all these assignments, see all your grades. Only the things that are published so far will show up here. This is all last semester's things, so they're showing up, telling me I did a really bad job. And then over on the right, you'll see how the assignments are weighted. So when I go through the syllabus, I'll talk about this again, but this is handy that it's right here and you can just see, wow, Shine quizzes are the most important thing. I better spend the most time and energy on them. And then the homework and the quick quizzes and the video quizzes, those are about the same. So I should allot, my second best amount of time to those and then get the other things done as I'm able. So that's the grades page. Then discussions, you'll get to the discussions in the modules if you just follow along the modules, but if you just want to come in and reply to your discussion and you don't want to have to go through the module and find it, you can always come directly here to the discussions button and click on the first week's discussion, and then on whatever week we're in, click on that. So there's 2 parts to the first discussion. The first one is to introduce yourself to me and your classmates. And please introduce yourself by whatever name you prefer to go by. And I want you to start giving yourself a positive affirmation of, I am a future And this could be anything. I'm a future college graduate. I'm a future Sac State college graduate. I am a future MBA. I am a future CEO. I'm a future accountant. Just put something in there that you aspire to and remind yourself often, yeah, I'm a future accountant. And you can tell us about pets, children, hobbies, etc. And then the very first week only, please respond to each of the classmates in your group by name. After that, I'll only be asking you to respond to at least 2 classmates. But the first week, I really want you to get a chance to meet each other. And then we're going to create a class norms document. I have 2 non-negotiables. Everyone deserves respect and assume good attentions. And then I want you to click on this Google Doc that's called Class Norms, and you just click on it and then hit return, and it will give you a number, and you can type and you can add whatever you would like to have added there. So it's anonymous, so just add whatever you need to have happen or not happen so that you feel really safe and comfortable to participate in the class. So I have a little bit about me here. I'm a grandma. This is my older granddaughter. This is my younger granddaughter. I'm retiring in June so I can spend more time with them. But I'm going to just love this last semester and enjoy it as much as I possibly can. And I hope you'll enjoy being in the class. Then we have the files. And the files are just, I think of this as like a file cabinet that we can all access. So I put documents in here, the syllabus is in here. Anytime I have a handout thing that would have been a paper handout, I put it in here. So you're able to access all these files. Also, if you're looking for a document, you might be able to find it easier here than trying to remember where it was in the class. Then the announcements I use sparingly. I try not to send a lot of digital noise your way because I know then sometimes it just becomes noise and you stop paying attention. So I mostly put things that come across my desk like the food pantry that I think, oh, my students need to know about the food pantry. And so I'll push out an announcement about that. Last semester we had the Caldor fire and we had resources to help students after that fire. And so I pushed that out to everybody. But I try not to send lots of announcements so that you don't shut them off. And then the syllabus is here if you want to just go straight to the syllabus and look at it. As I showed you, there's also a link on the homepage that goes to the syllabus. And either place has the same information. It's just arranged a little bit differently. So that's the intro to this Canvas class. Please let me know if you have any questions. I really do love getting messages from students, so please send some to me.